Today on Covering Coronavirus, we have some dancing unicorns to take you into the weekend, and we talk to an expert about how people are keeping the faith during the pandemic.
People want to have a sense of control, and when they look, yes, the scientists are doing all they can do and public health experts, but people also believe, well, maybe I'll pray because I can't do any harm.
One chocolate maker in Germany is bringing a little humor to the Easter holiday, which will be a tough Sunday because everybody has to stay apart. These chocolate bunnies have their own face protection and instead of an egg are carrying a roll of toilet paper. Honestly, at this point, I'd rather find a roll of toilet paper than an Easter egg. A mother-daughter duo busted some moves and brought dance parties to kids for National Unicorn Day. The rain wasn't going to stop these magical creatures from bringing some good times and some smiles when we need it most. And because it's such a hard time for medical workers right now, we have the staff at Elliot Hospital in southern New Hampshire trying to keep spirits high with their own dancing performance. When times are tough, many people turn to faith for comfort, but with social distancing, it means being away from your community. I talked to Michelle Dillon, who is a scholar of Catholicism and professor of sociology at the University of New Hampshire, about how faith has been impacted during this pandemic. What gets lost when there isn't that face-to-face time within the church walls?
Well, of course, what gets lost, as everyone else is recognizing, of course, all the various domains of our lives, is that people actually like being around other people. And certainly for church in America for many decades, church has always had a very strong social and communal aspect, and it really is that glue that knits together a lot of people.
And do you think that because there's this distance and people are missing out on a lot of aspects about being within the walls of a church or whatever your faith is, do you think that there's a risk of losing followers in this time?
Well, that's always hard to say. In some sense, maybe because it is a time of such uncertainty and stress, more people actually might be tuning in, and particularly because for many it's become quite convenient. You can live stream, of course, at the particular time, but a lot of these ceremonies and liturgies are also recorded, so someone who's just curious or feeling the need perhaps to connect with some faith system can actually link into those right now. Certainly people are praying, maybe more people who used to pray much, or people didn't pray are praying more now, because I think people want to have a sense of control, and when they look, yes, the scientists are doing all they can do and public health experts, but people also believe, well, maybe I'll pray because I can't do any harm. So you see a lot of communal prayer events being organized as a way for people to come together and make an invocation. I do think there is a lot of disappointment for many people that they can't celebrate their Easter ceremonies in a way that they would be accustomed to doing, and that clearly is a huge personal and social and spiritual loss. But I think people are also open to recognizing that a lot of religion is about sacrifice, and this really is the sacrifice being requested during these COVID days, is that you not celebrate these events in the way that you normally would have.
Obviously, there's a way we like to live and there's a way we like to worship, but in these times, that faith is being tested. You know, how devoted are you to giving up of yourself?
Right, absolutely. And of course, you're remarking the end of the Lenten season where people typically give up something. This year, people had to give up a lot whether they wanted to or not. And so this is another piece of that, giving up, this sacrifice, and it's for the greater good, so therefore that makes a lot of sense. Love your neighbor is a core piece of Christian belief and a core piece of many other religious and secular philosophies, and I think right now loving your neighbor essentially means keeping your distance from your neighbor so that your neighbor and you can maintain your good health.